Oh, I'm
Whoa.
ready for the reveal of this breakfast burrito. It is from Costco. It is not made
Wow.
by Kirkland. I forget the brand. But it's just a little. It's a little. I think it's some
Now,
turkey sausage, some eggs. It's a little delightful. You just put it in the microwave. I mean, you can put it in a toaster oven. It probably tastes better. But microwave, you know,
What
minute each
sh-
side.
what
It's
shape
good.
would you say that burrito is? What is its final shape?
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Like many of you,
In
I've
my
been
belly.
playing
I think it's
games
called
as long as I can
Cado.
Oh,
Its final
no.
shape is.
They're a core
God
part
damn it.
of what makes me who I am.
But yeah, welcome. We're kicking right into this. Can we
Yeah.
turn captions on? That's something we can flip on. This is
No,
the.
unfortunately, that's
No.
not a
Alright.
thing that Twitch has.
To start a new adventure.
All right.
Heroes awakened on a desolate planet.
But yes, this is the. We're coming in hot for the reveal of the final shape, which is not the final expansion to Destiny, but is meant to sort of like cap off the last 10 years of storytelling, right? Like this arc started in Destiny 1 is finishing in what is essentially Destiny 3. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but is called Destiny 2.
They'd invent ways to combine their
This would be where you make a Destiny 3 after this.
to stand alone against
That'll be
Yeah, they haven't. Right. One of the big
Yeah.
questions is they haven't said what is
They'd race
Destiny
alongside their friends
2. Like,
far
what is
into the early
this
morning
Yeah.
into
after
halls
the
of an
final
ancient
shape?
city
It's not going to shut
where only
down,
a
right? Like,
select few
you
emerge
know, I saw a
victorious
quote
at
recently
dawn,
from
clutching the heart
Rod
of a
Ferguson,
dragon.
who's kind of like the head of,
But most importantly,
or came in
they
midway
bring
through
their
Diablo
friends and
4.
their family
As
into
kind of
this
the
world,
spokesperson.
and together
I was at
make new
Coalition
faces on this
working on
adventure
Gears of
who
War
become
prior to that,
lifelong
and
companions.
said there are still millions of people
Now,
logging in to play new
together,
seasons of Diablo
we
3
approach the
Huh.
final
every
shape.
time they launch one of those.
Wow.
And so
We're about to
Destiny
embark
is going to be a game that people
on the
don't
last
leave,
expedition
even if there is a
of Destiny's first saga.
or Destiny 2.
People
rather.
are
Like,
still
Destiny
playing
about
Destiny
six.
1 to this
In the
day.
final shape,
Well,
people
people
will go inside the
Kind of
travel.
people can make their
The
choices.
journey will be difficult. And what awaits you on the other side of this trek is nothing less than the deadliest entity we have ever faced. There will be no open
An
betas.
entity.
There aren't going to be any guys on the
Monetization.
internet telling you
The
how to
deadliest
handle
enemy in the
what's to
Destiny
come.
universe
Whether you've been
is
with us from the beginning,
different currencies
joined us
for
somewhere along the
cosmetics.
road, or looking at Destiny for the first time, anybody who shows up on launch day is going to be greeted with this same uncharted world, a vacuum-sealed experience, begging for you to be the first.
I don't think my burritos
person
are vacuum
to
sealed.
pull it open.
No.
I'd eat a vacuum sealed burrito.
So today
though. Why not?
is your invitation to go forth and adventure.
Please play day 1. Yeah. Please. Please.
Please.
Please play this
I hear you.
game. Hey, look,
This
this,
is our
is the
trailer,
begin. This is the
huh?
beginning of the game. This is how it all started.
So this is Destiny 1.
This is when Peter Dinklage
After
said,
all these
"Eyes up."
years, we never talked about it.
They should bring him back.
They
Like,
should.
bring him
That'd
back
be
for,
amazing.
like
Why
give him a
would
side
they go
character in the final shape, the final Dinklage.
Why you were chosen.
It's kind of wild to remember that they changed the voice acting of like your main companion
Yep.
in the Destiny games.
It was such a choice to get such
Strict
big
truth is-
Hollywood people.
Just really threw Peter Dinklage under the bus. Just
I didn't know then.
I liked Stinklebot.
It was just a feeling.
I feel like the Peter Dinklage stuff was your first indication that are Destiny fans potentially toxic? No, it's just that the voice acting is bad.
After all we've seen,
I don't think Nolan Bot is trash. I think Nolan is fine. He's different from
This
the
fight
original like
might be
vibes
our
that
last.
Dinklage gave. Hey, he's supposed to be
I
dead.
ask you,
Well, come on, Cado. This is the final expansion. A lot of people that were supposed to be dead are going to be back. That's the nature of all this. Oh, I remember this scene from Endgame. Guardians, assemble!
The heart of the traveler.
This is a momentous time in Destiny history. We've been building to this moment for the last 10 years.
The final shape is the conclusion to that journey. This is a
It's
moment
been a
in
decade?
gaming that as a developer
Jesus.
you just don't get very
I forgot about that.
Guardians and allies are fighting the biggest threat
Yep.
that the universe
Yep,
has ever
it's
seen.
unfortunate.
In this big culmination.
Final shape
of
is the
Light and
passage of
Darkness
time, and the final shape that you
When we were
yourself
thinking
end
of what the
in.
final shape
Yeah.
While you
it had to be a
all-time
lot
marches
of different
forward.
things. It needs to pay off this epic confrontation with the
Did
witness
you?
that we've been setting up
So
for
I,
years.
you know, I did
It
I
has
did
to
the
bring you closer
campaign
to the hearts of the
for.
Vanguard. It has to be this place that
what was
like
the most recent
makes you
expansion? I'm
feel
blanking on it.
nostalgic for
Lightfall?
the entire journey you've been on.
Right.
When we
And they did not
were
do was the
resurrected
Season of the
by
Deep
Ghost,
was
Yeah.
like the
very
most
beginning of the
recent like
story, we didn't
underwater
know
stuff. Did you
why,
engage?
but it was for
Yeah, it
with
was
that?
neat.
The traveler
Very much?
is
Okay.
asking us
You
for
liked
There was fish.
And
There was a
it's
big
our
whale,
responsibility
and you could
to
go
protect
fishing.
every living thing in the universe.
I didn't play a
from
ton of
what the
it,
Witness
but-
intends to do.
I get, that was I.
It was a bad
It
season
seems
for
fine.
it.
The final shape, we
Yeah,
are
it's
finally
I did
able
not
to
see a lot
go
of
through the
pop on
portal
the
that
on the
Witness
timeline
opened
from
in
folks
the
that I
Traveler at the end of
you know,
Lightfall.
have a higher tolerance for
Inside is
Destiny
the pale heart
BS
of the traveler.
than I do.
That
It was
And I
really
like, oh,
cool.
showdown with
There was some
the
cool
Witness.
stuff in it, but
The Witness has the darkness. It has always had a connection.
It wasn't
necessary?
bombastic.
The
Where
pale
did
heart of the
it, where did
traveler
it
is what it's
feel
trying to
like?
do to
Was
gain
it
connection
just
to the
hey, it's
light.
a
So
decent
with
way to fill the
both,
time?
It can enact.
You
its
just want to
final
be.
shape.
it was a little bit
Destiny
more
stuff.
than that. It was
Aesthetic.
you know, we're obviously
This is a
moving
lack of purpose,
forward.
no meaning.
We're
It
moving
wants to fix all
towards
that.
new
So
story
it's
stuff.
trying
There
to
was
put the
even
universe
like
into this frozen
explaining some of the
perfection
stuff that was in
where everything's
Lightfall,
just exactly
like
how it thinks
Well,
it
little
yeah,
lore bits
love it.
about like, oh
Love-
yeah,
oh,
here's
cool.
what the veil is.
What's the veil?
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna defeat.
I don't know.
No, what is it?
I haven't
Do you
haven't
know?
gone through them. I'm gonna pick all that up
God,
right now.
The Vanguard, all of our
We're busy. There was
allies,
games.
all the Guardians to
Here's the
battle
thing: is that
together
Destiny is the
and
thing that I
be
keep
brave in the face of oblivion.
more on top of when there aren't other things.
In the final shape,
That's
It,
fair.
we're going to.
it needs more
Answer
gaps,
questions
or when
at
there's a
the
new
grandest
raid.
scale.
There wasn't a new raid
Well, I
in
find
the
really
thing.
interesting
Like those
that
are
it's also
about once a
very
year.
personal
There's gonna be a new raid soon
where
though,
we
so I'm
deepen
gonna
our
get back in.
relationships with these characters that we've known for so long. Zavala, Ikora, our ghost, get to reconnect.
Did you see
with
Keith
these-
David?
They,
So
I was gonna say,
while there's
Yeah.
like,
great
Keith
comfort
David was announced as the
and
voice
everything
acting
going on around us, the
replacement
stakes of
for
just unimaginable heights. It's still
Zavala.
at the end, a
they
story
probably
told
just make a
around
clean break
campfires
here,
by a
right?
bunch of
Like, even if they
companions who
had
been fighting
done
together for
like voiceover
hundreds
work,
of years.
like prior to his passing, like
We-
you probably just like you don't want like
They
the
reached
trailer to have.
they reached his final lines, his final recorded lines in the game.
Oh, they
In the
did.
final
Yes.
stage,
Oh, okay.
we're
All
going-
right. So they actually were able. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
They were able to finish out like what he had already recorded for like this some season. Like they had the final of it, I
In
think,
the final
right?
shape,
Yeah.
we're going through the portal.
I remember there being a
that has
small
opened up
announcement from Bungie of
to
like,
confront it and stop the final.
these were the last bits. We've
Gotcha.
used
The
them.
traveler is just infinite,
Is that a skirt?
vast,
Is that-
unknowable?
Yeah,
Character wearing a skirt, like a
The-
digital
but
skirt.
the digital,
Which is
but yeah,
a
it's
fraction
not
of
real.
Really, what is inside the
Nice.
traveler?
The pale heart
Ugh.
is weird. It's a little strange. It makes you feel a bit uncomfortable.
It's a little wacky in
and it is
here.
also just so
Ooh, it's a little
artistic in the
misted
best-
here in the inside the. Some control vibes.
Well ahead of
Yeah.
The oldest oust.
And so it's had time to kind
weird
of shape
geometry.
what's there. When our guardian enters, the rest of the pale heart starts getting shaped also around what we've experienced.
This is the
Oh, interesting.
traveler recreating the world in front of you as it saw on your journey.
Huh. It's like a
Oh,
One of
so
the
this,
most
little bit
this, is,
of a
this is gonna be our
lap.
nostalgia trip. We're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna
Is
do a lap
the
through 10
D1
years of
tower.
Destiny.
right.
It's
That's
really
cool.
a labor of love from the Destiny team.
Oh hey, that's the old
The final
tower.
shape means so much.
That's the
to
old tower.
everyone who's building it, and I think players are really going to be able to see that.
The pale heart is our very first linear destination that we've ever done. I would love it if players
Huh.
felt that they began their journey in a place of safety and feel it escalate in danger, in surrealness, because there is this beautiful evolution of the space.
They see things that are more and more wrong as they begin
hands.
to go towards the witnesses of monolith. It's kind of this
Hands.
omnipresent, foreboding thing.
Just in
off in the
general.
distance.
Hands.
The weirdest things happen as you get
A
closer
linear
to the
space is
monolith
interesting.
in the form of reshaping.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Usually their
reconstructing
areas
things
are
and putting them back
open.
together. Just wrong.
The sense of scale you get out there.
Are you
like,
telling
as
me
you're
like they might make
exploring
a
space and you're jumping
a
on
level?
these
like Bungie might make a
reshaped
Halo level? They might make a level?
They might make a level?
As a guardian, you feel
Oh my,
alone.
what a concept. And I don't even, again, I've long
that you have that
given up, on
You're not the God
Bungie
Slayer
making
right
the kinds
now.
of
You're
games I
just
wish
this
they'd
little
make. I'm
person
happy they're
jumping
making the games
from
they want to make.
these
But that is like,
massive pieces
but I
to
almost
massive
feel like
pieces.
they don't want to say it. Like, we made a
One of
a
the things
stage,
that we really
a
try
level,
to also
if you will.
capture
If you
is
will.
that the witness keeps throwing everything it has at you. And so you're going to fight these new enemies, the subjugators.
So do we know how we're gonna get in to this? Like, how do we? That was the whole. That's kind of how
Yeah.
Lightfall ends, right? We don't know how we're gonna get
They
inside
have
this
an enhanced power
shape.
set.
Right.
We know
They're
how we're
born
getting
in
inside
stasis
that.
power.
We
That
will, we will
Face
learn
the
between.
Guardian.
I mean, this
Well,
won't
in
come out
support
until
of all the other enemies you're
February.
fighting.
early next year, right?
Right. So we've got
Entirely new
the next
to Battlefield,
season.
which is kind of this element of control.
I think it's
They're
might
back
there might be 2
taking
seasons
away
until
with
it
stasis
happens.
abilities, throwing
Is it 1
crystals
season or
at
2
you,
seasons? 2
freezing
seasons
you
to
in
work that out,
place,
right? Yeah.
tangling
They've got
you
2
up.
seasons of story to get us there.
I see.
They're working towards it. It has something to do with the Veil, probably,
focusing
because that
you
made the
on
original connection to.
and only the campaign.
Right.
It made
right.
that helped
Most
the
important thing
witness make the
in
hole in the first
universe
place.
At that moment, you have to stop the final shape from happening.
Right. The first of
And
those
for
2
that,
starts
we do
today.
need the help with our allies, and so we're going to make sure that the core Vanguard team gets back together. Zavala and Ikora and Cade.
The campaign is
How many
just
of those are the
start.
original voice actors?
After you've reached the monolith
who could say?
and finished the campaign,
You know, at
open
least
up
Who's
the
keeping
entire
track?
At least
destination,
one
and
is
so
in.
the entire Pale Heart is going to react to you,
Which
and
is,
what
you
are
know,
doing.
fine. But the other 2 is what is my real question. Is like, are they getting Gina Torres back? Or is she too busy with Immortals of
Doesn't
AP?
really end with the final mission.
Hey, that game's out
The raids
soon, isn't
are
it?
Where you defeat
It's
like,
out,
the big
tonight?
bosses.
I did-
So
Oh,
it's
wow.
only natural that
I did
when you are
finally
going
get
to
code.
confront the
Nice.
witness, you're going
Not,
to do that
not on
anyway.
the. Don't
But
worry.
that might not be
You
enough.
want to play Starfield? We got you. Immortals of
This is the
Avium?
moment where we need to rally
Unsure.
all Guardians
Unclear.
to be able to
But
overcome
I'm still
the
looking forward to it.
final
The reviews
shape
are pretty
and the
positive.
witness.
It is. Immortals of Avium has strong. In like 3 years, people are gonna be like, "Why didn't they make a sequel to this?" Because nobody bought it. That's.
Final shape,
I feel like that's
we
what's
are
gonna
inside
unfortunately
the
happen to
traveler.
that game. It's such a bummer that
Very
they
close
got
to this
delayed out of
energy.
late
This
July.
allows
You
us
should take the
to
delay.
have
Games should be
new
delayed
supers
more
arc
often.
so
Absolutely.
void.
But
We want to
like nothing was
create
out in late
something
July.
that
Like
turns
they
into
had
an offensive powerhouse,
the room to
but
themselves.
also
Right.
can benefit your allies in a support capacity. There is this thread of team play and like working with your friends to overcome the odds.
So do we expect there to be
Warlock
another
Super is this ultimate
like class?
expression of
Yeah, we're
solar
talking about them right
energy
now.
coursing through your garden.
Okay.
This Solar Warlock Super is a callback to Radiance from D1.
Other than Golden Gun, this is the only other first-person super in Destiny right now. Your melee's like all these projectiles going off, doubling the amount of projectiles. Your grenade almost being sentient as it searches around, and then it hits a character and bounces off and goes to another one. And you're
That's
so
pretty good.
overflowing with this energy that you are also giving it to your allies, allowing them to have their solar weapons supercharged, applying Scorch when they're shooting.
The new Solar Warlock aspect. When I cast my Rift, it is going to create this little solar soul that when it sees an enemy,
solar buddy.
it launches part of itself out and hits the enemy and explodes and scorches them.
Look,
It
you
just
got
feels
an
very
you got an orb as a friend. We got you 2 orbs, 2 double orbs.
Twilight.
Like
All the
how many
orbs.
orbs do you want? One talks to you, the other slaughters
the
enemies.
Yeah.
Layered super.
This is the only ranged one-off offensive super for Titans in the game. The Titan jumps up into the air, summons this giant void axe, throws it, summons another one, throws it, summons another one, looks at a different group of enemies, throws it. And when these axes fly through the air, they stick into the ground or an enemy, do their void gravity thing where they suck a bunch of energy and enemies in and then explode. But that doesn't destroy the axe. The axe
The guy loves
around,
making sound effects with his
and
mouth.
your allies can go and pick up that axe and start wailing on enemies with it.
This super is insane to me.
The Void Titan aspect, I press and hold my grenade button to consume my grenade and turn it into the shield. The more damage it takes, the more it charges up, and then I can release that, and it creates this blast that deals massive damage.
Massive damage.
The hunter.
That's pretty good. I always like
Arc
mechanics
is all about finding the
function
shortest
that way,
distance
where you
between
have
2
sort of a
points.
defensive
The hunter kind of
mechanism
rears back,
Yeah.
takes
charges
this
into an
knife
offensive
and throws it across
output.
the world, and then is able to blink.
Oh,
to its
that's
position,
fun.
Do the slash that just decimates anyone nearby.
One really great
Oh
thing
man,
about that,
I love
you do it once, but you're able to do it 3
See,
times.
it's these traversal
Along with
things that always get me.
devastating
Like,
attacks
you added a
each time you do
grappling
it.
hook.
The hunter
That
has
was
an
pretty
aspect
cool.
we
Yeah,
take
that was
Except for not
fun.
really
throw
liking
it
how
in the
that
air,
class
propels
plays.
us upward.
And I was like, can I
It
just have the
creates this
grappling hook on a
burst,
different
which amplifies
class
you
instead?
and the allies.
It almost makes it feel like you're
No,
playing
I'm
a
hearing
fighting
no.
game, right? Like these combos
But
that
the
you're
knife
chained
being a
together to do these different
dishonored
moves,
blink.
it, like, takes
Yeah.
that
But an
sandbox
offensive
to the
move
next
is
level.
pretty
The
good.
more aspects we have, the more capable we are to do that.
It feels like you're like riding the lightning, you know, like that instantaneous, like.
That was good, but I think it's more
I
like,
really like that. That is a neat.
you know?
I like it. I like it.
How many times did they practice that?
I don't know.
Weapons
From the top, please.
More
exotics, we've got legendaries, we've got perks. We're always cooking up stuff. We're always.
I mean, look,
playing with
doing
stuff that we
structured
think is, like,
conversations like
really
this
interesting
is
or taking inspiration.
a nightmare.
We have
Yeah.
Tesselation, which is this exotic pyramid.
That guy's a bit though. That's a bit because that guy once did that during a presentation and they put him in the game because people reacted so well to him making the funny super noises.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Look, I'm on board.
Stasis loadout. Tessellation has the additional property that you can special reload to reshape your grenade and suck it into the weapon, and then fire out a super destructive single projectile. It's a really special weapon.
What's the one specific exotic that I can make that's like really zany that you would like right now?
What if Golden Gun was a sniper rifle?
What if you could harness the might of the Traveler? You know, we had a moment where we saw that Traveler Beam cutscene. I know people on Weapons went, I kind of want that. You're like, that is incredibly dope.
So we've got this opportunity to bring back these iconic.
So is that
Destiny
what the
1
gun
weapons,
is?
But really turn it into something that feels unique in Destiny 2.
We have to bring Kvastov into the fold.
The Red Death exotic pulse rifle.
Kvastov.
Burn the world, burn it all.
It's just an AK. It's the AK that you pick up at the very beginning of the game, like when you
broadening what existing weapons can be.
in Destiny 1. It's just like here's a random assault rifle.
Rocket pistol, sidearm.
They made it into like an exotic later.
Special ammo sidearms.
It wasn't very good.
Whenever we do some sort of live show, I want a big screen in the background. Cado, let's get a big screen. Let's get a big screen that we can put bad stuff on.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, like this.
Yeah, I want one of those.
Like yeah, one of those.
You can put JPEGs on.
Okay, we'll work out on budgeting that out for our next live stream.
Well, we're not gonna buy one, but like, there's got to be like a place we could go. Like,
yeah, we gotta rent it. We gotta rent it from somewhere probably.
Thebigscreen.com. Like, they sell them at Costco? Why do they sell everything there this big?
They have everything at Costco. We can get a Kirkland's brand screen background.
Wild ideas, which are pretty exciting.
Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Kirkland made a TV, I'd buy it.
Come on, take a load off. We've got a lot to cover.
That's.
This place is only big enough for one dashing hero type.
That's Nathan.
Me, so, I'm back.
Is it Nathan?
Hey, you two, give me a sec.
Yeah.
I was.
Because Nolan took over for like one season there.
Anyone want a hug?
I was curious whether or not they would.
That really sounds.
That sounds like Nathan Fillion.
But who knows?
Yeah. I don't think you bring the character back unless you.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing with like Zavala where they're in a hard spot, right? Like it's right. An actor passed away suddenly, whereas here this is a planned thing for like the culmination of 10 years. I don't want to be one of those Twitter folks who's like, well, they got 400 employees, so like there should be more unique armor in the seasons. But if you're gonna bring back Cade maybe pony up the money
to the end of the Light and Darkness
Right.
saga. It's great to see Cade like return to this world at this moment with all this change about to culminate with this confrontation with the long-standing enemy, the Witness.
Why isn't Nathan Fillion creating new PvP maps?
Oh no, you know what I mean? I'd watch that live stream. You know, I've heard famously that Bungie's toolset is excellent, easy to use, very intuitive. It's not caused any problems for the studio in the last 15-20 years. And so just like let Nathan cook.
To the Light and
A new
Darkness
PvP
saga
map
that didn't have Cade here alongside his friends.
Did I see that they are putting out like they're making like some mild concession to the PvP
the nature
fans
of the Pale Heart
here? Am I wrong? Did I feel like I saw
Cade's role as a
I mean,
Cade is Virgil.
Depends on what you mean by concessions.
Other place.
Not ignoring and pretending all those resources aren't going into Marathon and other games, and pretending that Destiny has a PvP component, but broadly they ignore it, which it seems to be like a piece of legitimate of Destiny in like the last 5 years.
As it were.
Cade's the glue that's always held Zavala and Ikora.
Yeah, I mean, they were going to, they supposedly were always going to.
Where they've been and what they've done.
They just hadn't announced stuff yet.
That Zavala's been on, and how he's been
and then they
taken down this dark
decided
path.
to
You think about the way it's been on Ikora,
move up some announcements on things they're doing in the next season, but it's not until the new, not the next season, until the new expansion happens. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Each other.
I mean, Joe. I think it was Joe Blackburn did like a Twitter video, just a Twitter video.
Oh yeah, like the 15-minute thing.
Yeah, that was mostly what that was.
Wherever the hell here is.
You're inside the Traveler.
Ew.
Turns out it kind of wasn't an egg, or was it? Is this a new world that's about to be born? Is that how eggs work?
Is it the Traveler or the egg? You know, a classic problem.
Guardian, the Witness poses a dire threat. And the Witch Queen holds the answers we seek.
Oh.
Only if we contend.
Worm.
Witch Queen friend now?
Oh, Worm?
It rests with me.
No, she's dead.
Okay, well, ghosts can still be friends. Spectral beings can still be our friends. Cado, let's not be too hasty to judge.
Excuse me?
Bring me your tithes.
What?
Wield hive magic and have entwined it with your light.
What?
Assault the spine.
Hey, Eris, are you good? Are you sure that was the right call there?
Gotta become powerful, you know?
You missed a lot this season. Yeah, I did miss a lot. Turns out.
The death of whispers, and they do whisper.
So this is the season I believe that's starting today.
Fight in my name.
Cado's got cards.
I know. I have to go back.
It's alright. It's not like Starfield's out in a week, or Mortals of Avium's launching, Blasphemous 2's out, Armored Core 5 comes out.
There it is. There it is. I was gonna say you haven't said anything that would tempt me away from Destiny yet, and then Armored Core is on Friday. Fuck.
I can't say anything about playing the game, but I can say my mech is very painful.
Nice. That's good.
You are deserving of the greatest death I can bestow.
Cool.
Season Witch. I see.
Great. Hey, Eris,
now,
you
normally
good?
This
Season of the Witches
would be where I would say this seems like a great excuse for me to go back and play the Witch Queen. But then if you were to rewind a minute, all those games I just listed off are reasons for me to not go back
and play the Witch Queen.
Ahead of doing that. Well, I suppose I can speedrun it. I can try and do it later.
It's not that long.
When I took a turn on, like, when I finished the Lightfall campaign, was like, I don't want to do any of this grinding anymore. And I did it anyway and just
Yeah.
didn't like myself,
idea,
I should have just gone to the Witch
She
Queen.
did
Yes.
like, well, the best way to fight
Played that
fire
instead.
is with fire.
Yes,
We
yes,
are
unfortunately.
channeling all of
Now
that
it's too late.
energy that we're creating by
It
going
is too
through.
late.
by
I'd ask, when is the
eliminating
Mario
enemies,
Lift on
and
AC6?
we're
I think it's
tithing to our friend Ares.
Thursday afternoons. I don't have the time in front of me.
What does that mean for the
I'm gonna
character
be
of the player
in
to kind of, like,
LA
be
watching
like Savathun? And that's where we went
Valorant
down
in
the
a
path of
stadium
having high
when
Ares.
AC6
I thought you were like
Armored
trying
Core
to
6
go to
happens.
some of those
that ability to have
one of those
overwhelming
shops that
natural
sells
power
physical
risk and
copies
reward
early.
into
Like I gotta fly all the way to LA.
I gotta fly to
this
LA
one shop
to get
a
yeah.
box copy of AC6.
Yeah.
It's this magical deck of cards
Ah.
that creates amazing synergies with your build craft meta and with buffs and the activities.
They can then choose these
What?
cards at will, whichever ones they want.
They're
and
buffs,
then
they're
That
buffs.
really leans into the build crafting. You actually are getting
I mean, they're
cards
cards.
that you can
They're
then
cards,
use
though.
Cards can be
battlefield and
Yeah,
change
cards
the
can
way
be
you play.
buffs.
I'm such a sucker for deck
A
building.
family can be
like,
two
being able to,
dads
like,
and
bring
cards
that
can be
element
buffs.
Into Destiny gameplay has just been like, oh, chess.
Yeah, oh,
it's really
super
fun.
I want. They're gonna
So
sell
we've got two brand new
this
seasonal
deck.
activities coming with.
A physical version. I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna buy it.
Spires are new 3
I'm gonna buy
You're
it.
doing a lot more with Lucent Hive magic, but it's got a high amount of combatant density. It's got additional random encounters that you can come across.
The Witch's Spire itself, Savathun's Spire, was like her reliquary for all these different magical experiments as she was learning the light. You're there in order to learn as much as you can in order to become a master spellcaster, right? To become like Savathun. The
Oh, we're casting
really
like-
exciting because you can spend like 20 minutes in it, or you can spend 2
You
hours.
want to become like
It's got a 3-player
Savathun? I
experience
feel
that you
like
can hop in and hop out of. As
I
you're
mean, she's
going through this
powerful, but
activity, you're filling
bad
the
maybe,
tithing bucket.
right?
As
Are we?
that
Oh, do
tithing
we think
bucket is filled
Savathun's
up, you'll
bad?
get
Is that where we're at on
progressively more rewards,
Savathun?
And then finally, at the end,
I mean,
it'll cash out and you'll get a whole
complicated,
mess of rewards.
honestly.
Oh,
She did
I
want.
see.
She did want us
We
dead,
really wanted to
and
make sure that there was a home for
she was
any
misguided.
kind of
Yeah,
mission
that's
content
you
coming
could
in
say
season,
misguided.
After the year has passed.
I don't think
And so
inherently
everyone- what we're calling these
inherently
missions
evil
rotate.
was not really the vibe. It was more like
Presage, Vox Obscura, and Operation Seraph Shield.
Caused a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Looking at some of the content the fans
we
have
can
shared
fix her.
with
That's
us.
exactly the
The most
vibe.
exciting
Yeah, we
thing
can fix her.
outside of the missions themselves is that every time we put a mission
I
into
can
that
fix this
rotator,
genocidal
the
witch.
exotic
Me.
features inside of it will
And then
become craftable.
she can teach me.
God ask, God forbid a woman have hobbies.
Wow.
With Season of the Witch, we have a brand new Vex lo-fi PvP map coming. It's really exciting. It's got a bunch of really tight.
Look, there's a
gameplay
PvP map
experiences. We wanted to make sure
in the
that
next
we
season.
focus the combat a little bit more.
Ah.
With the new Vex network map, we really wanted to make sure we hit is like, hey, you're shoulder to shoulder more often. There's not as much deep sight lines that you're interacting with, and a lot of the flow of the map is actually built around this like kind of central pillar of the Vex network.
I'd be curious what the
that you're
data shows
orienting around.
on
there's also some modes coming too,
right?
We've
PvP.
got a new
Obviously,
PvP
this is a
game
studio
mode
that has
coming
a
that's all
pretty,
about
like,
relics.
not that they
It's about
don't
multiple
make
relics, so
mistakes,
it's not
but
just one, like the
you would
Scorch game
imagine
from the
resources being
So we've
pulled
got the
away from
shield coming
PvP,
from
as
Vault
frustrating as
Class.
that might be
We've
to
got the
players
spear
that like
back from Season of the
PvP,
Risen.
And we got the side
is
from Season
reflective
of
of what
Yeah, so you're
broad
gonna be
swaths
Reaping
of
Guardians
the
with that thing.
player base
It's a lot
Yeah.
more tactical
are
gameplay.
aren't engaging.
It's all
with.
about running.
It's
the
something.
map,
It's like a
playing
30-70
The traveler or the
sensors,
egg
and
problem.
then
If they
grabbing
put more
them
time
in
into
order to,
PvP, would more people play
push for
PvP? Maybe. But
I think something they said something. It's like a 30-70 split between people who are mostly focused in PvP playlists and mostly focused in PvE playlists. So
yeah,
it's still a lot of
There's
people.
something in the air. And
Like
so
30% isn't
that's
nothing.
a good raid reprisal that would really suit
But
a
if
very
you
high
if you
VC
took
there.
like if you woke up one morning and chose violence and
Right.
said you deleted PvP.exe from Destiny, do those 30% of people stop playing Destiny, or is it just
They
that they
might.
like Destiny so much that this is where they like to like spend more of their time
More
when
of
they've
their
exhausted
time.
the PvE content?
Yeah. It's hard to say. Oh, we're going back. We're going back. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know if they've announced this previously and I just missed it, but they're re-releasing one of the most maligned raids from Destiny 1. I'm actually curious what the changes they make to it are, because
why maligned?
it was short.
Okay.
It was
What
easily
does short mean? What does short mean?
short. Like right now I could run through. You could run through the original in less than like 30 minutes.
Okay.
Heading into the
Like
final
less
shape,
than.
we
If you were
moved
going
into
fast,
all
it was
our ideas that we
soloable.
had
That was
built
another
through
thing. It's like
Darkness Saga. We
it
want
didn't
to reduce
feel
those
like
power
you even
barriers,
needed
as
to have
well
6
as
people.
have
Really,
people
it was
work on
annoying.
key story beats and make sure that they have a really
It was a whole thing.
great and
Part
easy
of it,
time connecting
part
with
of the
other
thing was
players.
that there, in Destiny 1, you had a subclass that could revive
In the
itself,
final shape, we're
and
trying to
that
find
broke
ways
a
to
lot
make
of things. Where it's
power
like it would
more
kill you
simple
if you
and easy
did
to understand and
this
also
too
more
early, and then you just
unique
revive yourself, and
experience
you
to
could keep
entry.
going.
It's going to make it easier for
There are ways to
players
glitch
who
around
have
it,
not been
but
able
mostly it
to
was very
jump into
short. It
games
didn't feel very
easily because they were held back by the
long
challenges
as
in
like
grinding for the power levels that are required by these different activities.
like this.
So they probably- I mean-
The original, the first raid was like so big and expansive and like felt mysterious, even if like a fair amount of it was just traversing between encounters. Getting lost in that space and feeling like you had to find your way to the next boss was still like interesting. That one was like, here's the encounter, here's the next encounter, and the next encounter's down the other hallway. Like there was no sense of like you're delving deep into a place, and then the encounters themselves were like only okay.
Fundamentally going to be staying the same.
I'm excited for this because I think there will be a lot more clarity.
Small thing,
for
but
players
just like
in
a
terms
shout
of
out to Bungie,
understanding
like
the
they have
relative
shown
difficulty of things, where they sit
like
now in the
the stream's
spectrum.
got pronouns, like they have shown a lot of women and like people of color on this, like just like it's, you don't need, you shouldn't get claps for shit like that. Like that should just be like what we expect these days that are broadly reflective of the way most games are played and made. But just, you know, like we've seen the Keeleys and other places these go awfully wrong. I just thought it was neat, like how they clearly made it a priority that, but it's just low key. It's not, they're not raising a, you know, a banner over it.
You to find strangers
Hit me.
who've never
What?
played with
This
people.
is really interesting. Well, this thing that they're talking about now, just they're equalizing
Fireteam is the new feature that's coming
power
in
level
aimed at
or
helping
fire
connect
teams
and
going
find
into like
other
raid
people
level
to
stuff, so you can
complete
bring
the
people
best
who are
and most
lower
inspirational content in
with you
Destiny. We have
a lot easier than
tag
before, where
system
like
that
you couldn't.
allows players to be able to
Yeah,
say,
exactly. Like maybe you, maybe I can bring you on a raid.
I'm just really here to have a good day.
I can help drag you
Tags
down
really
during the
allows
raid.
players
I'd love
show a
to.
bit more personality, show a little bit more about what they're about. I think what's really great about it is with this.
They're putting in game looking for groups.
One of the inclusion
A thing
tags
that
we
Destiny
have
hasn't had
is co-playing
forever.
Players. Hopefully, the inclusion tags will bring players closer to finding their community and even closer to the people that they're playing with. So once a listing goes live, players will be put into a listing lobby where players can gather, they can communicate with each other. So we wanted to make it as convenient and as easy
Application
as
required.
possible
How do I
for
apply?
players to not just sit and stare at a screen
think it's just
for a
in-
long
I gotta
time while their listing actually fills up.
submit a PDF
Typically
of my
more
Destiny
solo, I'm
qualifications.
especially excited about this because it really is about helping reduce that anxiety and burden that comes with trying to make a new connection.
It's good that they're doing
These are
something like
coming
this
out
finally.
today that I'm incredibly excited about.
Yeah, yeah, just in time for it to all end. But you, but it is something you would want,
right?
For if this is putting a period on
key narrative beats within our story.
Yeah.
quote Destiny. Like if you consider, I sort of lump Destiny 1 in with Destiny 2, even though they are like I consider them like a singular project.
Yeah.
And if you want this to exist for another 10 years in a way that is going to survive attention being put towards whatever the next major project is, whether that is Destiny related or a new universe, and then you have Marathon on the side, you have this like smaller competitive game, the frog thing or whatever, the people like, you want like
What is the frog?
people to be able to do their own stuff.
I didn't even see. Did you look up what the frog thing was? I haven't seen what the frog thing is. Okay.
I don't think they've shown the game. I think it's just one of smaller incubating projects that they've got going on.
And enjoy this content regardless of their power level. We're reaching the end of this
Dave Probst
10-year journey.
for
What comes
subbing
next?
for 2 months in a row.
And the new way we're going to tell stories moving forward.
What's really important about episodes is that it's a really big shakeup
So this
for what
is
we've
new.
been doing.
Yeah.
Instead of providing 4 seasons a year, you are going to get 3 larger episodes. And so the first 3 episodes in this coming year are called Echoes, Revenant, and Heresy.
Huh.
It's coming right after the final shape. And the theme for the year is going to be all about the consequences and aftermath of the final shape. I think what's really the cornerstone of the episode model that we're building is the 3-act structure. The acts act as these anchors for us to introduce new weapons, new artifact mods, new activities. There's gonna be new missions coming around the core. There'll be new story moments in every single one of these acts. We're actually providing more cinematic styled experiences throughout the final shape year and the episodes with it than any of the seasons we've ever developed before.
These new stories are actually playable as standalone. Like each episode is something you can experience, whether you've been playing Destiny for 10 years or this is your first one.
You're going to be able to basically enjoy them in
From
any
what?
order you want to.
I think the opportunity
From
with
what?
this episode
for
is that we
Patrick.
get
From
to
what?
see
For
things
Patrick.
again.
For a
We
guy
get to move
for a
the
guy
game
who
forward.
doesn't
all
pay
about
attention for 4 years and then comes in and just wants to
frequency.
click
It's
a
all
button
about
and play story.
deeper story moments. It's all about more weapons, more loot, more often. And it really provides the team with a platform to go much deeper into the themes and fantasies and story of any individual episode as compared to the seasons you know of today.
I'm so excited to see what the narrative team can do with this kind of new platform of storytelling. Episodes provides this.
I suppose
awesome
kind of a
for the
wait
future
and
of
see
Destiny.
attitude.
We're moving
In
on
some
to the
ways,
next
it's just you just gave a different name
I think some people look at the
to
final shape and they
a
think
thing
that's
you're
new.
already.
Well,
like,
the
episodes are
structure
different kind of season.
is what I'm curious
For
about
me,
because
we're putting the pedal to the
a
metal.
season is like a
Episodes provide
weekly
us a new,
thing,
innovative way
usually.
for players
Right.
to engage with Destiny 2 throughout the year.
What makes a guardian?
And right now it's like an episode is made up of 18 weeks, which is a lot longer. It's like, is the story basically gonna stop halfway through that? Probably. Or like, are they doling it out much wider, but it's the same amount of story? Like,
Right.
how that pacing works out is kind of.
Shaped by the fires of each new battle, we are forged and sharpened into what we must become for the fight ahead. We are the final line that halts the second collapse.
All of us. Every Titan. Every Warlock. Every Hunter.
What is it the Guardians say? Devotion inspires bravery. Bravery inspires sacrifice.
Sacrifice leads to death.
The line between light and dark is so very thin.
Let's cross it together.
There are things out in the dark that only the dark can overcome. Trust me.
You've heard the stories of the Traveler's sacrifice, of darkness descending upon humanity.
Our purpose is its end.
Did we open the sphere? Yeah, we went inside the sphere. They went inside we're going in the sphere.
There is no escape.
Is this the shape? Is that the shape? That shape that they showed there? Is that the final one? We're orbed
It's gonna be an
up.
exciting year for Guardians.
Hey, it's Joe.
We get to make good on a promise that we made way back in 2014. There was classic rock blasting, a fire team racing across our solar system.
You remember these
and
ads?
At the end,
The live action ads from.
Yeah,
they were cool.
They were good. They were
Today,
fun.
You got a glimpse at how we'll be cementing your legend in this upcoming year.
Venus?
We're going to be heading inside the Traveler.
How do you determine how much
Seeing
water to put in that
destination
glass
unlike
that's on his table?
anything we've ever built
Have you been drinking
before.
it? This is just
We'll
there to
face
make him
the
seem
biggest
human?
bad we've ever made.
Ah,
Just
yes.
do this.
Humans
Just
need
like you
hydration. They need
You know what I
hydration.
mean? They didn't have to have it
Allowing us
there.
to easily
Could have just like
play
given him a
with
water
frames
bottle,
in any
cut
content in the
away.
game. And
But
as
like,
the dust settles in the final
no.
shape, we're going to continue our legend.
He's in
It's
there in
almost-
Destiny just like you.
It's Destiny's
Also
first
sipping
episode
water.
in a
Sipping
new
water.
phase of storytelling
It's
for
almost
Guardians.
exactly halfway, so you have to
Conflicts,
do
going
that
from
thing
the
of like, is it
revolution
half
to the
full or is it half
Dark
empty?
Saga.
Who could say?
And it's a continuity thing. Producer on sets, keep
But if
track.
we're
Like,
Yeah.
like
to see how the
someone
Light and
look
Dark
through these
Saga
cuts.
gonna
Is
kick
the
off
water
future
level
of Destiny
changing?
2. We've got a ton of great content.
Triangular
to jump into
table,
today.
circular
Go
cup
live
on
after
top.
this, we've got Season of the Witch with a new story, new weapons, new armor, new activities, and new PvP content, all alongside a series of story catch-up missions, allowing any of your friends to jump into the game and get up to speed on what's happening in this world.
Story catch-up missions.
Next week, a brutal.
Let's do some story catch-up missions, Patrick.
Story catch-up. I'm ready. Yeah, sure. If I do it on a stream, it's not in my free time.
Yeah, exactly.
As we learn
at some point this year, I'm gonna. Daddy's Day Off is playing Tears of the Kingdom because Daddy fell off that after 15 hours.
Oh, don't.
He's sad about it. He's sad about it.
I should check out that new season. Whoops.
After all these years, all we've lost. This fight.
I'm really curious what story catch-up missions mean and how they're contextualized.
So I'm asking you.
That where it isn't just because you can't just do like a lore dump, like because the proper nouns in this game are like all like there's just so much going on. How exactly do you do a catch-up over 10 years?
Right.
Oh
my God!
Stream, Cado!
Oh,
we gotta
shit!
stick around for this! Where's my wallet?
What is it? What am I not getting?
We create a collector's edition. We try and recreate items from the universe.
I'll
for
probably
players
get
to
this one.
enjoy outside of the game.
Well, it is
this
the
year
final.
We're doing
Yeah, it's a
one tower.
Oh wow! It's the tower.
Thinking about 10 years of Destiny and how
That's
best
pretty good.
to
It's got lights on it.
Holy shit! It's got lights on it.
Even as the game
You got water
dev,
here
who,
too,
you know,
but the
worked on
difference
this
here is
since
there's
day
two
one,
people,
like,
so
I
they've
think
given them
having it
a
be
jug
the
to
tower is super
Right.
exciting
from
for
as
us
well.
because
You need
it's
some
gonna
water.
kinda catalog
You
your
spill the water.
journey
Someone's got to come and clean
player
that up.
from
You're not
the
pouring the water.
You're not pouring the water.
You're not touching that. You're not touching
the
that.
tower. It's
Too many
kinda like a
variables.
beacon in which you're a place you can call home.
You get the tower.
Do I get a little?
Actual figures of the Vanguard.
I was literally gonna say, do you get little figures to put on the tower?
Model.
That's fantastic.
There's a lot of like hidden messages and hidden things.
There's gonna be some fun surprises. We're always trying to push the envelope.
Can it
And
charge
so
my
we've been
phone?
playing
It
a
does
lot
look like
with
you should be able to
magnetic
dock your
locks
phone
and,
Yeah.
and have it
sound
charged
effects,
wirelessly.
lights,
I'm with you.
Just sort of make this experience.
Did that person
as
had a
whole.
glove on?
Yeah, they had
touched
a.
that button?
Yeah.
Sort of the perfect
They had like
symbol.
a fucking. No, it was like a Destiny ass looking glove too.
Yeah.
It was like an armor glove. Those things are amiibo. Yeah, right. They're like some sort of NFC, and it's a Wi-Fi route. Oh my
Man.
god.
I can't play Destiny
Alright.
on my Switch. I can't play it on my Steam Deck.
No.
I mean, you can. It's you just got to jump through a bunch of hoops to
Yeah.
make it work. All right, we're probably good without the post
Yeah,
show, which is
yeah.
probably going to be the real minutia. But high level, what do you? Obviously, this
I
is
think-
like we don't have a lot of a sense of what this is yet.
Yeah.
But what do you? Cado is the resident Destiny expert player.
Enjoyer. Yeah.
Enjoyer. Yeah, I play it. I don't know that I enjoy it, but I play it every once in a while, and then go. But where are you at on the final shape before we jump out of here?
I mean, I think it's interesting. They keep saying that the Final Shape expansion itself will contain most of the story, and then the seasons following in the following year will be consequences and Fallout, which is not what this is not usually how it works. Honestly, it's more like the year the expansion is the kickoff to another year of story. And like shit gets real at different points throughout the year, but you know, I mean, I'm excited. I think the new stuff looks neat. I'm super curious what these next two seasons leading up to it are gonna be like too. Like I feel like they're kind of in an awkward story spot where they have like a lot of work to do to get us to where we end up in the final shape. So it's weird, right?
Well, I think
They're like
it's from a storytelling perspective, you know, you know, my people that like give me glimpses into the world of Destiny. It's like you, and I follow Paul Tassi on social media platforms, or read him over at Forbes, and like constantly, I've seen Paul, who's like deeply embedded in these like live service games. It's like the point of their coverage. I mean, like, did they really bury this explanation here at a terminal in this new and apparently the new season has been especially bad at doing retroactive storytelling explanations, and I think for all my frustrations with Destiny that sometimes are driven by like a studio not making the games I necessarily want them to make, and then also just frustrations with my ability to grasp what's going on without making it my whole life, is stuff like that. So I wonder if the model they're talking about, these like they specifically called out in the episodes, like, hey, like you can just play this as its own bit to experience the story.
Right.
In some ways it feels a little like too little too late, like just in time for the main story arc to be over. We've cracked a way of doing storytelling a little bit differently that might make it more coherent for people that are just want to go along. They're fine paying $60 for an expansion or whatever, and like just going along the story track.
In some ways, it's like the perfect time though, because it's the end of the story, and people might be like, "Oh, is this continuing?" But like, I don't have to know about the other stuff. Then fine, right? Like, right. This is like they said, Aftermath and Fallout. So it's like the beginning of what comes after, right?
Yeah.
So in a way, you could kind of pitch it that way of like, these are good places to start, which is why it's interesting, because basically before they had they had this idea of like they wanted the concurrence and the people engaging with their game to be engaging constantly. Like, there was new things every week. You were supposed to come back with the weekly reset, do all those things over again, do the new story as well. And now it feels like they're trying to separate out there's these two classes of people that are left, that are the here for the story but not here for the grind, which honestly I end up falling into outside of preparing for raids, which like they don't make often enough to keep me grinding the rest of the year, right? Like, I want to get to the right level to be able to engage with the raids, because I think the raids still are some of the best designed co-op experiences that you can have, like especially going into a raid not knowing anything. Like, that is the most fun thing. I love figuring out those mechanics just like with a group of people.
Those are
and
the
like
two things keeping you here, is that you have become invested in the story, and then the story is enough to get you to the raid. And the further those two things are apart from one another, the less the game clicks for you.
Yeah, that old meta. Do you guys think that they will ever care about people like me who played the base games and love them but have no clue how to get back into them at this point? Is it just wait for Destiny 3? There will be no Destiny 3. I'm betting still that there won't be a Destiny 3. Destiny 2 is the platform that they continue onward with forever. I'm gonna turn this down.
And in the same way that World of Warcraft is still going.
Yeah, exactly.
My guess is there will continue to, like, will Destiny be the thing that Bungie is putting all of their PR efforts behind post the final shape? Probably not. Like, this is probably part of a larger studio effort.
Yeah.
And my guess is Destiny 2 winds down like into sort of a not quite maintenance mode, but like something slightly above that.
Right.
Marathon fits in between. Like, that's the big thing that they're talking about throughout 2023 as the final shape is the expansion's out and moves into its episodic storytelling acts for the year. And then sometime that's in 2024. Oh, years are going fast. And then in 2025, that's when we find out, hey, what has Bungie been working on in parallel for the last 4 or 5 years? What's their next big project, which I think is the one is Marathon is the one they're doing with NetEase, right? Like, that's the one.
I believe so. One? Yeah. That's
something else.
That's the just PvP, the extraction shooter, which had a killer trailer. The style on that, just dripping with style. I loved it, and I'm interested actually in possibly playing those old Marathon games to like
would,
because here's the thing that they've
have an excuse to play them.
Yes, exactly. And the thing that they've said is like there's a lot of like it's like a lot of background lore. It's kind of the Destiny 1 model of like you could just play this game and not really get what's going on, and but even more so because it's an extraction shooter, like you don't need story to go with it. But lore bits that they put in the world, things and events that happen in the world will all do add into a like some sort of running narrative through Marathon's life cycle. So like I'd be interested in being able to know what that stuff is. So I want to play those old games.
Well, I think we will have a chance to do that sometime next year when they're probably talking about Marathon more extensively. But that's going to do it for this Destiny 2 Final Shape Watchover. We'll be back in about an hour, probably a little bit less, to get ready for Jeff Keighley's Gamescom opening night showcase of games, which I think Keighley has been saying lately is more about check-ins with existing games than it is reveals, although I'm sure there'll be some reveals, but I don't think we should expect a kind of a thing that could be an existing thing that is a reveal is Elden Ring DLC. So that still could, like, I don't think they're going to do that with Armored Core literally coming out this week. But that technically fits an existing thing that we haven't actually seen anything from. So yeah, we're gonna jump in. Cado's gonna join us to watch that before dropping out, and then Rob and Patrick try to examine the housing market, which is tied to a new podcast that Cado is going to be busy producing while we're doing that stream. Rob and I recorded a pilot for a new podcast called HOA that'll be coming your way before the day is out. So stay tuned for all that in about an hour. I'll be back then. See you.
Bye.